Greetings, people. Okay, so I'm going to continue on with my story and some of the things that happened. So I'm down in coastal California town, the most northern California town there is on the coast. And I started getting gang stalked, except for I had no idea what it was. You know what I mean? I was just like horrified, and I was very fearful when it first started. I had like gotten to where I went to a casino one day with a friend of mine who was part of the gang stalking, and I didn't know. And I had this herd, and I call it a herd for a certain reason, of females, and there's 5 of them. I've never seen them before in my life. And they're going, "We're going to beat your ass. We're going to fucking kill you." They're saying this shit while they're walking by me. And I'm like, what the hell? Because I have no idea who they are, right? And I go, "Me?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I was like, well, dude, take me home. I want to go home. Not home, but I'm living in an apartment or a freaking hotel, whatever. And he takes me home, and there's all this racket. It was nighttime. There was all this racket outside. And my dog was really upset about it. She kept growling and stuff. And they kept saying, pointed at her, pointed at her. So I was like, I didn't know if they were going to kill me with a gun or what. But what ended up happening, they were talking about somebody named David and Lisa. And what had ended up happening was this light, this weird aura light, came all the way through the window, the blackout curtains. I ended up in the closet inside of this room, shut the door, and this light still came in there. And they're like, got it on my head. It was really strange. It was like pinkish aura. It kind of looked like a headlight in fog. But they had it right on me, and I was like, I don't know, I couldn't get them to pull it off of me. And I was like too afraid to look out, so they keep on doing this. I had this light on me, and I'm thinking, what the heck? I just really didn't think much of it at the time. So by the next day, I was sitting there, and I think I was praying. I was having some thought that was actually like more godly and stuff, trying to figure out how I could do better in this situation or make it stop. And I heard a voice directly walk into my brain and say, "Why don't you kill yourself?" It was in my brain now. And I was like, and it was a man's voice. And he starts saying all this personal stuff about me. He said like my personal history of addresses. He said my kids' names. He said the names of my husband's, our addresses, all this stuff where I was just like, oh my God. And there's nobody around. And I know it. So I was like, what the hell? So later on that night, again, they show up at the curtain by the window, and they're going, "Point it at her, David, point it at her." And I just sat there and let them do it. It just, the pink lights coming through the blacked out curtains and everything, and the wall. Anyway, so the day after that, I'm sitting there in my room, and I keep having these really, really intrusive thoughts going into my brain. And I knew for a fact they weren't built in my mind. This was nothing I think about or any way I think. It was like they hacked my conscience, and it was like they were intuitive about what I was doing. It was freaking nuts. Like, I was like horrified. So I tried to make a joke, and I was like, what, do I have a narrator now? Is this the Wizard of Oz, you know? And trying to explain that to people, they're like, oh, it's just the drugs you do, which I have done drugs plenty of times, but I am by no means an everyday addict or anything like that. I, at this point, like I said, have 7 months sobriety, not even cigarettes. So anyways, the whole thing is, at the time it's happening, if you say something, all they do is call you crazy, threaten to 5150 you, you know? So I'm sitting in my room, and it was a Saturday morning, and I heard Dylan laughing and Brandy and this other guy named Tyler that they hang out with. I could hear him in the next room. I saw their vehicles outside, and I just stayed in my room because I was like, I don't want to hang out with these fools. And I heard this lady who just said her name was Lisa talking to them. And they're telling her personal information about me. Like my ex-boyfriend's names, just, you know, more recent history of me. Like, just weird stuff. And then these things were used against me later. But, I mean, I'm telling you, it gives me a headache even trying to explain it and reliving it. It's an absolute nightmare. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I know they're doing it to somebody else right now. And it breaks my heart. And it's a really private hell. It really is. My situation had a couple things happen to it in California where I still can't believe it. I mean, it's unbelievable. So sometimes I would like run to the store to get something to eat, and I would come back and they would helter skelter, you know, because they'd been in my room fiddling with something or something, you know. Stupid. They still did that as of like 2 weeks ago to me. I said, man, that's really cool. Cool. Oh, yeah. I mean, what do they want? They did follow me to another town, to the other town I went to. There's more drama and it continues on, but that's that. I did figure out that eventually that it was voice to skull is what they had done to me. Directly done that to me. So I still don't know who David and Lisa are. But yeah, that's part 2.